we are going to make a pie from 1933, but this is just a small component of the ingredients. The real star of the show is going to be cranberries. Now, I've never tried a cranberry pie, nor have I had any other cookbook in which I've seen cranberry pie listed. So I am intrigued. I really want to see if this is going to be good. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I have another kind of nefarious reason why I want to use these cranberries. I took this to heart and I really did buy 2 and freeze 1 during Thanksgiving. So I really want to go ahead and use these up before, they get freezer burnt and that kind of thing. I think it's time to go ahead and utilize these. So when I saw this, I thought, what a perfect way to use up a random bag of cranberries that you have in your freezer. Now it says 2 apples, but as you can see, this thing is giant. So I think just this 1 apple will be the equivalent of 2. Now this little cookbook, as I said, is from 1933. It has some really fun illustrations in the cookbook. And as some of you may know, Magic Chef is a appliance manufacturer. And so they made ovens and that kind of thing. And what's so interesting about this cookbook is this one is specifically made for an oven that is self-regulating. So this was the very first Lorraine oven heat regulator that was ever put into a gas range, and you can see it automatically controls the flow of gas to do any desired baking temperature. Which means for the first time, you did not have to babysit your oven and make sure that it was the proper temperature during the entirety of the cooking process, which I imagine would have been very freeing for a lot of housewives in the 1930s. As you can see, it has some really fun pictures periodically throughout the book. And one thing that I thought was also really interesting, especially for all of you canners out there, this wants you to can in the oven instead of the water bath or pressure canner. And this cookbook is saying that for the first time, since the oven can be self-regulating in temperature, you are able to do that. And they market it as something that is so much easier than the water bath because it says at one point, no more lugging heavy things of water to your stove. So that's the little overview of the Magic Chef self-regulating cookbook. So let's go ahead and we'll get the cranberries and apple ready, and then we will start on our pastry. A confession to make. The recipe calls for 2 cups of cranberries. This is actually probably about 2 2/3 cup of cranberries, and that was mostly because I didn't want to put just like 2/3 of a cup back in my refrigerator or freezer. So we're gonna go ahead and cook the whole thing and just see what happens. Hopefully it won't overfill this, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. And you may be wondering why I'm showing you apple scraps in a Ziploc bag. And that's because I watched a TikTok the other day in which a woman, as she cooked, she said, put everything in the bag. Like, all your scraps, vegetable scraps, from your garlic and, whatever you're like cooking with, maybe celery, just whatever, tomatoes. She had all kinds of stuff, all kinds of scraps in a Ziploc bag. She filled the bag, put it in the freezer, And the next time she wanted to make a vegetable broth for a soup or a stew, she used all those scraps, added water, and boiled it for about 30 minutes. And that was enough to make a really good vegetable stock. And I'm going to slowly fill this bag, put it in the freezer, and the next time we make a vegetable stew or soup on this channel, I'm going to use this as an experiment, and I will show you how well it did and if it was worth it and if it tasted better than store-bought. All right, it's just been a couple of minutes and you can see it's already getting nice and bubbly and breaking the skins of these cranberries. So while this is going ahead, let's get our pie crust done. Okay, now I am horrible at figuring out crisscrossy things and spatial things. So Mitch here said that he has a theory on how to make this really, really easy. So he's gonna put it into practice and see what comes out of it. Uh-oh, did you already mess up?
No, I just need a longer one now.
No.
Actually, no. I still do at least one more shorter one.
Now, I've never actually had luck with a crisscross topping coming out well, because usually for me what happens is they sink down in there and then not cook and they don't look very good. But the book said to try it, so that's what we're gonna stick with. So far it's coming along really nice. So really he's just taking turns, and I'm sure a lot of you experienced bakers out there already know this, and you know, we're just kind of experimenting with it. Now, it doesn't go like over every single one.
No.
Though, this way.
It just does down the middle.
Yeah, it just does kind of like this little middle pattern right here. So we are kind of cheating a little bit, but maybe that'll mean some of them won't actually sink all the way down into the pie filling. You know, like we've kind of had that happen before. And it still looks pretty. And still kind of gives you the general idea. So I say if it's this easy, it's kind of a win. Ooh, and there we go. That actually looks really good. We're going to pop that into the oven, and hopefully it'll stay looking this good when it comes back out. Sometimes I let Mitch do things like that also, because he's a little bit more exacting than I am, in that he takes his time and actually, you know, does things really nice and neat. Whereas usually in my impatience, I just kind of slap it on there and hope for the best. So I'm really hoping this time we're gonna end up with a really beautiful pie. All right, timer's off, pie's done. Let's pull it out. Oh, look at that. Go ahead and lift the pie shield if you can. I put the pie shield on there roughly halfway through baking. I probably should have put it on actually a little bit sooner, but I still think it looks okay. And look at the lattice. Mitch's system worked out. We had a little bit of, it falling into the pie itself, but not near as bad as it usually is. And look how pretty the middle turned out. Okay, so we're going to let this sit and cool before cutting into it, and then we will do our taste test. All right. Right before we turned the camera on, we were talking about how you could smell the acidity coming off of this pie. So we're thinking it's going to be really tart.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, that's cranberries.
Yeah, it had a lot of sugar in it, though.
Maybe
so
it'll cut it.
Kind of
We'll
hoping.
see.
Okay, wait a minute.
You ready?
Wait.
Go. I mean, you already cut mine.
Okay. Okay. Woo!
Well, clear your sinuses out.
It wasn't too bad, and then all of a sudden, the second
Yeah, it's almost
aftershock
like
of the tart hit.
it's almost like when you first bite into it, you get the sugar, but like you know how like the aftertaste hits, and then it's like really tart.
Yeah, that's the one that kicks you in the jaw. Okay, I'm gonna get a second bite just before I. Woo! It's still tart.
Get some more apple in this one, I think.
Mhm. Yeah. Sugar, and then just a little bit of a kick. Now that second bite, I don't think was as bad.
I don't know if it's.
We're probably used to it.
Yeah, it's only because we've been kicked in the mouth once already.
Right.
But it's not bad though. Like I think the acid at the end leaves you salivating more.
It does.
For another bite. Like it's see, you're already getting another.
I know, I'm already
It's
digging.
actually hard to stop because of that. I think it's more because of the acid than anything else. So while it is really tart, I don't think it's any worse than like a most cherry pies or.
Right. That's what I mean, I think it's the most tart pie I've ever had. But you can definitely tell the apple.
Yeah.
In there. I'm actually going to say, now I'm not like usually a crazy tart person. You know, I usually skew more towards like your lemon, like coconut creams pie and stuff like that. Like that's really good.
Key lime.
Oh,
well, I don't know.
But key lime has a little bit of a kick to it too. But I'm gonna say it really, like we've been saying, it is kind of a kick in the jaw. But I actually like it.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I didn't think I would like when I smelled it and I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be super tart. I was like, I'm not gonna like this pie. I actually do.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of like what is that we have at Thanksgiving?
Pumpkin?
No, the red stuff. That's not pumpkin.
Cranberry sauce?
That's cranberry sauce, isn't it? This isn't cranberry.
This is cranberry.
This is cranberry.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me get this out. I was just like, for some reason, I was thinking like pomegranates, and then I went to like currants for some reason. My brain was all over the place. I don't know. I'm not a really big fan of cranberry sauce either, like for Thanksgiving and stuff. But like, I still like this. Like I would eat this again. Yeah,
instead of cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving, I would just do this.
Yeah.
I would eat it like this. I think this is a much better use of your cranberries.
Definitely.
Than just like a plain cranberry sauce that most people probably make, including like our family.
Right.
Wow, okay. This is a really surprising pie from 1933.
Yeah.
It's plain, but it isn't. And I think that's where the genius of it comes in. It's very limited ingredients. Apple, sugar, water, cranberries. Literally 4 ingredients. but you didn't need a lot of ingredients to kind of let the cranberries shine through, and just let their tartness be the main factor. You know, you're salivating, you know, you can't stop eating it for some weird reason. So I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I got to use up a bag of cranberries from my freezer that had just been sitting there for months. And I had no idea what to do with it. So this is a really good way to use up those extra bags you found on sale around Thanksgiving. And as for this little cookbook, this is really cute. I picked this up as a bundle with several others from a seller on eBay, but if you find it by itself for a few dollars, I think it's worth a pickup. It's really cute inside. Had some really interesting, recipes in there that I think would be really good to add to your vintage collection, especially given that really odd chapter about canning in your oven. I think that was really different. So that's kind of cool about it. Now for next week, one of our subscribers must have been watching really, really close and actually paused the video when I was going through the pamphlet from 1929 that we did last week, the Cupid's book. And she said, could you please make one of the other recipes? And she named one, which is the chocolate spice cake.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I looked at it, and she's right. That thing looks awesome, and we need to try it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so we're going to go back to the Cupid's book from 1929, and we're going to make a chocolate spice cake. And it says to use Ghirardelli chocolate.
Ooh.
They still make Ghirardelli chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and go to the store and grab some actual Ghirardelli to really make this really good and try it out. And I suspect it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching this week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.